I'd like to weigh in on the Wisconsin protests that have been going on for several days now. Wisconsin is my home state. I don't live there any longer. However, I keep up with much of the local politics, or at least the state politics. The protests that are going on really have nothing at all to do with health care contributions or pension plan contributions for the most part. Sure, there are some that are protesting that these are the issues that matter to them, but I think for the most part, the people that are protesting, if you pulled them aside individually, would have no idea what's contained in the legislation that's being proposed, and are just there to go along with the mob. Now, who's organizing this mob? It certainly isn't just some flash mob that happened, that people all individually decide that they're going to go to the state capitol with these signs and protest. The signs are clearly, the protests are clearly the work of the public labor unions. These are the people that are threatened by this legislation more than anyone else. Currently under Wisconsin law, or the way the law is for these public workers anyway, is they are required, the state employees are required to pay union dues. Now, they're not required to join the unions, but they are required to give money to these public unions. Essentially what that means is all of the Wisconsin taxpayers are funding these public unions, whether they like it or not. So the Wisconsin payroll system is being used to fund these unions, which of course the unions love that because the workers have no say in the matter. Now, if this bill goes through and is passed, which it looks like it will be, if they could get the Democrats to actually come back and vote up or down on it, it's going to pass. It'll be signed into law. And the workers will then have the choice whether or not to have a portion of their pay go toward these unions. And of course, many of them are going to not want their money going to these unions, which is the reason why these protests are being organized. Now, to me, that's the biggest reason why all this is going on. These unions are able to fund or contribute to the campaigns of the politicians that are going to be friendly toward them, and that this whole machine just keeps rolling along. As soon as this comes to a screeching halt, though, the unions are going to be at risk. They're not going to have the same political power and clout that they've had in the past, and the taxpayers will not be required to fund their pet politicians any longer. It's the way I see it. Of course, I could be wrong, but let's face it, probably not.